Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel where I normally talk about luxury fashion. Today I am taking you though on a Disney day with me because we are here in Disney World. I had initially planned to come to Animal Kingdom on Earth Day, but then found out that my cousins were coming down here a couple of days later. So today I'm going around the Disney parks with my cousins. I'm taking you with me, of course, for everything that we do and of course everything that we eat. And with that, let's get going to the parks. Not knowing what parks we were going to be going to, I did buy a park hopper ticket and started out at Animal Kingdom, where the parking lot is right next to the parks, which is really convenient. And then there is a Joffrey's that is right outside the park entrance, so you don't have to scan in your ticket to go get it. So first thing that I did when I got here is I had to get my Joffrey's. Now, a lot of people like drinking Starbucks, but Joffrey's is the thing to do if you are here at Disney. It is so good. It is great coffee and a great way to start up my morning. Went for just the regular black coffee because I know I'll be having tons of sugar today. As on Earth Week at Animal Kingdom, they have a lot of special desserts and treats, and I have to be trying those today. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is what bag it is that I take to the parks, and so I thought that I would answer that. Now, I've carried my Senreve bag to the parks. The issue is that that bag doesn't fit into the locker, so you have to actually pay for an oversized locker. I've taken my YSL camera bag because that bag can go through a beating. Today I am taking my little Chanel reissue mini with me and trying it out. Basically, this is its test for Paris. If it can survive a day at Disney, it can absolutely survive shopping in Paris with me. And by that, I mean the comfort, the usability of it. And so really excited to be trying this bag out for the day. Now we are starting at Animal Kingdom today, and one thing that I want to point out about Animal Kingdom that a lot of people don't know is that Animal Kingdom was initially made to show three different types of animals. The extinct animals, which is where the dinosaur land came in, although that is now going away with the addition of the Encanto land. And then, of course, the real animals, which we still see today because they have lots of live animals on property. And then the mythical or imaginary animals. This is why there is a dragon in the Animal Kingdom logo. Now, in addition to this, the way that this has actually ended up being incorporated in the parks is with Pandora here. And so you get to see those mythical Pandora animals as you go throughout that part of the park. Once we walked into the parks, you of course are greeted with the wonderful Tree of Life. And then we went straight to Pandora. Now, we did think about doing the Navi River boat ride journey. However, the wait for that was like 70 minutes and we couldn't get a lightning lane. They were all sold out for the day. But the scenery here is absolutely amazing and incredible just to walk through. It sounds beautiful with all the background music, all the water that they have going. Like, no one does park scenery the way that Disney does. This is amazing. We were able to buy a lightning lane for my aunt's favorite ride, Flight of Passage, that morning, and so we did get onto this really quickly. We did not all have our time synced, but they let us go anyway.
You're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi Rite of Passage, flying on the back of this powerful animal called an Ikran, or as we call it, a Banshee.
It was an absolutely incredible simulator ride. I was so impressed, although if you're bothered by a lot of heights and movement, the visuals could potentially bother you. We then went on to Dinosaur Land, and we wanted to ride the dinosaur ride before it is re-themed shortly as Indiana Jones. And it was fun, but I'm glad that we had a lightning lane so that we didn't have to wait in the line, because I don't think that it's worth waiting even 20 minutes for, as it's a very, very short ride. That being said, it was fun to see this ride as an adult where I could actually remember going to it. I then had to get my Mickey Mouse ice cream bar because it's not Disney if you haven't gotten one. And then we went over to the African area in the parks. And this was so that we could do Kilimanjaro safaris. Once again, our lightning lanes were not synced. However, the people at Disney are very nice and let us go through as a group anyway. First up is that we saw two different antelope species. And most of the animals were very calm because it was the middle of the day. There were a ton of crocodiles. I didn't realize how many crocodiles that they had. These were Nile crocodiles. And then these wild dogs actually feed the young in their pack first, and they are one of the few pack animals to do that, which I thought was really interesting. I love the fact that as we journey through, the animals are just walking around, like the zebras here minding their own business, and then we'll see giraffes, we'll see wildebeest now coming up. And I love the fact the animals have so much freedom of movement, but also that we're able to be close enough to see them, because the animals are going to do what they want to do on exhibit, whether we are there or not. We did see the not as much of a baby anymore, but still sort of a baby giraffe, and he was very, very cute. At one point, he was running and frolicking around, but I couldn't get that on video, unfortunately. Because it was the middle of the day, there were a ton of crocodiles. I didn't realize how many crocodiles that they had. These were Nile crocodiles. And then these wild dogs actually, and there was Rafiki, and then of course we come to the elephants. All of the elephants that we were able to see were females. They are much smaller in size, but as we come around the corner, you're going to see something a little bit special about one of these females, because she had her baby with her. Again, not a baby, but still, in my opinion, a baby nonetheless. And it was really cute getting to see that little one. We did see some elephants at a distance splashing around in the water, but when we got up to them, I couldn't get that video. There were, of course, flamingos and then rhinos. And one thing that I found really interesting in the rhino area is that while we call them white rhinos, the actual correct translation would have been wide rhinos. There were cheetahs laying down, and then we did actually get a glimpse of a lioness here, and then on to celebration of the Lion King next.
You're right on time. Hey guys, it looks like we're all here. Let's go!
Now, after that fantastic show, we headed over to the Asian area of the parks to ride another ride and get food, most importantly.
So, good news and bad news. Good news is that it is gorgeous weather here today. Bad news is that the honey and chocolate mousse cupcake that I was really hoping that they'd have this year, they had last year, they didn't do this year. Also, a lot of the character meet and greets that I was hoping to see aren't really happening as much this year, and they're a bit more sporadic, so probably won't get to do those. But look at the Tree of Life behind me! We are going to try and find some of the bacon, mac, and cheese though, so let's see if we can track that down. I have seen plenty of places with Dole Whip, but I'm not really a Dole Whip person, so let's see what good eats we can. But look, I found Kevin! Guys, I found Kevin! Look at her! It's Kevin! So, I don't even know what stand this is, but they have one of my favorite snacks, which is cinnamon glazed pecans, so we're grabbing those. Okay guys, the pecans are just okay. They aren't great, they're just okay. Let's go try to find those cheeseburger spring rolls that I've heard so much about. Strike out on food number 3. The cheeseburger spring rolls are only in Magic Kingdom, so not gonna get those, but let's go see if we can find some of the good barbecue, like some of the barbecue mac and cheese. Here's another Joffrey's, which supposedly has some really, really good, unique beverages. So seasonal, so you've got the frozen lion cappuccino, which sounds really, really good. Might need to get that. Lots of guys, let's try the frozen lion.
Hot coffee? I have hot coffee. What about cold coffee? Iced coffee, yes. Iced coffee?
Very coffee, very sweet. Not really getting the cappuccino, but that's a lot of caffeine and a lot of sugar, which is really, really good on a Disney day. So there is Everest. Now, I am not a roller coaster girl because I have an old back injury from a horse jumping accident. So I'm not riding the roller coaster, but it is a classic here at Disney. So very nice. You get to actually see the attraction even if you aren't going on it. We've got Meredith here, and she's going to explain pin trading to us.
So basically what happens with pin trading is that people come whether they've bought like a pack of mystery pins or regular pins, as long as they're Disney. Anybody can come up to our pin trading boards that all look like this, or some cast members will have on little lanyards, and they can trade up to 2 pins with us. And so some are trying to do collections, some are just trying to do some cute little pins. It really just depends on who it is and what they're looking for.
So show us your favorite pins on here.
On here, I think that this one's really cute. That one's probably my favorite on this board right now. I also like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit card just because I have never seen that one before.
I also really like the little flounder. And then of course, like, Aurora was my favorite princess when I was like 3, even though I had the wrong color hair. We then grabbed food in Nomad Lounge. I thought they had more food than just sort of apps. The ahi tuna bowl was a good portion, however the pork belly was teeny tiny. And so while the vibe was really nice, it was really comfortable to sit in, wouldn't really recommend it for a lunch spot. Instead, go next door to Tiffin's. But we did get to see the new otters, and otters are one of my favorites, so I was thrilled to get to see them. So there is a Rainforest Cafe here in Animal Kingdom. It's right at the front of the park, and you can actually enter the park through Rainforest Cafe. Please do not need a Rainforest Cafe though. Animal Kingdom is a food lover's paradise, and there are also plenty of regular options as well. But don't waste your time at a chain Rainforest Cafe. Go and have the special food inside of Animal Kingdom. Then it was time to switch parks, and to do this as efficiently as possible, we took a minivan, even though it's actually just an SUV. Alright, park number 2, we are at Hollywood Studios. Now, I had not been to Hollywood Studios since I was like 10 years old, so this has changed a lot, because now there's Star Wars. You have the security doggo here on screen now. There's also Toy Story Land that's been added, and so I was really excited to get to see all of the changes. I will say, Toy Story Land was a little bit overwhelming to be in.
There's a snake in my boot, but that's not going to stop me from welcoming all you new toys to Andy's backyard.
We did get to see some famous faces walking about though. Woody and Jessie! So the Green Army men are supposedly the scale size that we are in the parks. Now there are quite a few rides in Toy Story Land, but unfortunately the ones that we were sort of interested in doing were actually down at the moment, and so that was really disappointing, and we just walked right on past them to the next area of the park. So as you pass through Toy Story Land, past the Buzz Lightyear, you enter into a different space. You enter into the Star Wars Land, which is incredibly well done. And definitely an area that you could get easily turned around in and end up spending hours and lots of money on food and merchandise inside of. So just beware if you are headed to the Star Wars area of the park. It helps to have a pro like my cousin to help navigate you through and to where you need to go for the attractions. gotta give props to Hollywood Studios though for having characters everywhere, like right here with Ray.
Transport solutions. Today, I am offering the opportunity of a lifetime. I need flight crews to transport this valuable merchandise across the galaxy. Pilots to navigate, engineers to operate the ship, and gunners to defend the shipments. And that is where you come in. Oh, the Bel Air Falcon. Oh no, for some very fast and very profitable expeditions. Chewbacca, my mind for a friend. Yes, as we agreed, you let us use the ship. We'll give you the supplies you need. It's a win-win. You help the resistance, and I get all the profits. The First Order will never know we were there. Okay, time to go, so bye-bye. We better go.
So this is Smuggler's Run, which is one of the two main attractions in the Star Wars area of the park. And we did a 70-minute standby line. We weren't able to get a fast pass. We decided not to do single rider so that we could all be on one ship, where my cousin Paul and I were the pilots and Uncle Mark was a gunner. It was fun to have an interactive ride, although I'm not quite sure that it was worth the 70-minute wait.
Very good. A few brand new crew members and a few returning for another mission. Excellent.
After the ride, it was snack time and walk around time. And again, just really, really impressed with all of the world building that they did around this part of the parks. It was extremely well done. But Paul wanted popcorn, and I've got to say, this was interesting popcorn that we got that you'll see here in a minute. But it's also really neat on how the characters really truly just walk through the parks and you get to see all of them. So this is that popcorn that I was telling you about from Star Wars, and there was Rey walking by us in the background, but here are my thoughts on the popcorn.
Popcorn's interesting. It tastes a little fruity.
It's good, ain't it?
I like it.
Yeah, I guess just some more.
After that second bite of popcorn here, though, the fruity taste really got to me, and I did not want to eat any more of it. But Aunt Sherry, Sarah, and I decided that we wanted to ride Rise of the Resistance, but not with an 80-minute wait line. So we did single rider, which meant that we walked right up here by the sets, right past all the people who just spent 90 minutes in line, even right past all of the fast pass people, and went right to the front. We only waited about 5 minutes to get to ride one of the most popular rides in Disney. And it was a lot of fun, but it definitely wasn't a ride that would have been worth waiting 90 minutes for. I could see waiting 30 minutes for this ride, but it was over pretty quickly, and I don't think that it was as good as what was amped up to be.
Let's go.
But ultimately hopeless. There's nowhere to run.
That being said, it was a very fun ride, and it was really cool in how it brought you out into the daylight at the end. The set pieces were cool. Loved getting to see the Mandalorian and Grogu, but we also got to see another pair of famous faces, which is Donald and Daisy Duck, that were just standing around for some photo ops. And I, again, love the fact that Hollywood Studio had so many opportunities to see and take pictures with the characters without having normal standby lines. Now it was then time to go to the icon of this park, which is the Hollywood Tower of Terror. I did not actually get to ride this ride when I was here in the parks last time because I was a very small child. I'm still child-sized to a certain degree, but I was really impressed with all of the scenery and design work that they have for this ride. Say hi, everybody! We survived! He made it! He made it! She made it! This ride was a lot of fun, but I was actually really surprised by how short it was and turned to Chris beside me and was like, hey, is this the end of the ride? It was, so then it was time for more snacks.
Apparently, we need to get cream cheese stuffed pretzels. Got cream cheese pretzels here.
I don't want to waste those.
Go ahead and eat your pretzel, Paul. Look at that. Oh,
there you go. You want some?
I'm good. I'm gonna get your all's reactions though. It's good? Alright, what's the verdict?
Not pretty good.
Okay.
Anything stuffed with cream cheese is usually pretty good.
That is true. Cinnamon rolls are always good. Alright, Paul, eat into it.
We've now written everything that we wanted to in Hollywood studios without massive wait lines, and so then we got on the Skyliner.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Disney Skyliner at Disney's Hollywood Studios. We are on our way to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort.
Alright, looking in the background, you can see that we are now at park number 3. We are at Epcot.
Now, we were in Epcot while the Flower and Garden Show was still going on, which meant that there were a lot of beautiful floral pieces that were set up throughout the parks. It also meant that there were a lot of specialty foods in the park, including one that we are going to try from this stand here in just a minute. It is only here during the show. But of course, we walked around the whole of World Showcase because you've got to visit all the countries on the map while you're here in Epcot because it's a whole lot cheaper than a round trip around the world plane flight.
We've got sushi rice. So this is like a fruit sushi dessert type of thing? Mm-hmm. And it's good? Mm-hmm.
So we reached Epcot later on during the day, which meant that rides either had really long wait times or they were down for the day. There was, however, one ride that we were determined to ride, as 4 out of the 6 of us hadn't ridden it, and Paul and Chris insisted that it was going to be worth the 70-minute wait. It is Paul's favorite ride in the parks. It is my cousin Caitlin's favorite ride in the parks, and I had not gotten to do it, and since this was my one day at Disney, we decided to wait in line for it despite our very tired feet.
And we're just about ready to teleport you up to the ship for the demonstration. As you're about to enter a secure Nova area, I must ask you to put away your Terran communication devices at this time. Recording of any type is strictly prohibited.
Fantastic, amazing, must-do ride for me now at Disney is Guardians of the Galaxy. This was amazing.
Just got off Guardians. That was by far the best ride. We waited 70 minutes and it was absolutely worth it. Uncle Mark didn't really survive, but that's okay because the rest of us did and absolutely loved it.
Despite our best efforts, Guardians of the Galaxy and the monorail made us be about 30 minutes late for our dinner reservation at Ohana, and they very graciously allowed us to still have it. Otherwise, we would have gone over to Magic to catch Happily Ever After fireworks. But the bread was amazing. This chicken was amazing. The noodles that you'll see in a minute are amazing, but everything is served family style and all you can eat. However, if you are like us and have people at your table with food allergies, they are extremely conscientious of that and do a really great job taking care of allergens. Alright guys, this is the end of the vlog. We have done 3 parks in one day, plus a hotel. I'm very tired. We are waiting on our minivan to come and get us so that I can go back to Animal Kingdom with my guards, my cousin here, as well as my cousin's friend there. And so they're going to take me back to my car so I can head back to the beach. But hope you guys enjoyed coming along with us and had a good time watching this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed coming with me to the parks today, and I will leave you guys the video here on the screen. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed today's vlog, as well as the subscribe and bell notification buttons to be notified of all my future uploads. And with that, I hope you guys live happily ever after. Bye for now.